subscribe. Tariq Radio. Like and subscribe.
Bony prominence in the building.
Hi, thank you so much for allowing me to come up and speak.
Yes.
I spoke to you the other night, but I was literally half asleep. So you just asked me like, "What's my lineage?" And I told you, but I was dead like tired. You woke me up out of my sleep. I just heard you saying "bony, bony," and I woke up.
Oh, now, what is your lineage?
Um,
I forgot what the conversation was about. Now, what's your lineage?
My lineage is that my on my father's side, my grandfather has kept track of our history down to the slave who was born on the plantation, or she lived on the plantation. I don't know if she was born there, but she lived on the plantation that essentially she worked on, and she had children with the slave owner, and she also had children with an adjacent slave who lived on a plantation on the other side. And then my mother's side of the family, she's in foster care, but she's also black, so we don't really know her lineage.
Okay.
Um, so that was the conversation that me and you had, but I was half asleep. So you were asking me questions, and I was just getting through the questions because I woke up and I was just like, yeah, my dad, blah blah
All right.
blah.
What's on your mind, Bony?
The most that I want to say, really the main thing that I want to say, is that I have such an appreciation for you. I don't really have much else to say besides the fact that I know for a fact that you, Tariq Nasheed, are a piece of history.
Mm.
I know that a lot of people come up here and they're just like, oh, well, what about this? What about that? Like they argue with you kind of. I don't know why we're so skeptical of what you have going on, but I feel like the entire foundational Black American movement is just a piece of history. Even the word foundational, I was just explaining this in another space. I got attacked for it. But I feel like even the word foundational, I don't know if you're a linguist. I don't know if you like went to college for like language, but the word foundational is so powerful because you
Yeah.
could have said like original, you could have said like original Black American or natural Black American, but you said foundational, meaning like we built this country. We're the foundations of this country.
Mhm.
It's such a powerful thing to say. And I frequent a lot of white spaces on Twitter or X or whatever this is called now. And they don't like that. Like the white spaces don't like that because there are a lot of white new immigrants. Like I just spoke to a guy the day before yesterday who is a Canadian French immigrant. His grandfather moved here, had his father, and then he's the son of his father. So he's the grandson of a Canadian. And he just like described to me his gripe about his father like standing for the Canadian flag and whatever, but then he tells me, he's like, I think that America should be a predominantly white nation. And I'm like, you can think that as the descendants of immigrants, but I've been here from the beginning. My family literally has like lineage here from the beginning of this country. So it doesn't matter what you think as a technically like a white immigrant who was like born here two generations after your family came here. I think that you, Tariq Nasheed, are a piece of history. I place you on the like podium as like a Sojourner Truth or like a Harriet Tubman. I think that the term foundational Black American is so powerful. I actually Googled it with Grok, the Twitter AI.
Mm-hmm.
I said, who coined the term foundational Black American? And it literally said your name. It was like Tariq Nasheed coined the term foundational Black American. And I was just like, this man is doing it for us.
Mm-hmm.
This man is solidifying a place for slave descended Black people because as of right now, there's no discretion between Black people. There's no discretion between a Jamaican, second generation Jamaican born immigrant who technically, is here, may appear as an American, or a Haitian born, or somebody who has parents who are African. They all appear to be Black Americans, but we are the foundational slave descended Black Americans. And I will tell you, white people in this country, whether they're foundational white people or whether they're immigrant born white people, they don't like that. It's a threat to them. I think that you are the most powerful force that we have right now as Black people. I think that you are at the pinnacle of like what it means for us to claim our ancestry. And that's really it. That's just what I want to express. I don't think you get enough credit. It gets on my nerves when people come up here and they try to go against you or question you or like, I don't know, say some stupid gripe that they have.
Right.
I feel like people come up here with their dumb gripes and I'm like, why are you so critical? I literally feel like, sorry, this might come off as like whatever, but I feel like as a people, we're very critical. Like they say, like, oh, a Black person runs, you run with them, or like, you know, a Black person hears like a sound in the basement, and that person, like, we're not going to go in the basement and like check, but in the basement is Tariq Nasheed building our foundations. Like we're so critical, and we literally look at Tariq Nasheed. We're criticizing what he's doing. You're doing the best for us that I see anybody else doing. And I'm so forward. I'm so like bullish on Tariq Nasheed as a stock. You are literally like my Harriet Tubman. And I don't care. People get mad at me. People kick me out of I just got kicked out of a space. I don't even know why. I don't care. Tariq Nasheed is my Harriet Tubman, period. That's it. That's all I want to say.
There you go. I appreciate you, beloved. But yeah, you hit on a point. The term foundational, that's extremely powerful. It's a powerful term. It's very specific, and it's more accurate than the term native when describing foundational Black Americans. See, words matter. I learned from my good brother, Neely Fuller, and round of applause for Boney, by the way. Love and respect of her. I respect her passion. But listen, when we use the term, this is why it's so important to use that term foundational, because that emphasizes built infrastructure and institutions. The word foundational shows that we, foundational Black Americans, we literally laid the foundation. I'm talking about economically, culturally, politically for the United States. You understand? We built the nation. See, native, that means you just kind of you were born in a place, you didn't really have to contribute to the development of it. You know what I'm saying? Like red Native Americans, yeah, they were here before Columbus and all that, but they didn't have any input in the building of the United States. You understand? That's a difference. That's a big difference. You see, when you say foundational, that implies and that gives you irreplaceable contribution. You can't replace the foundation. You understand? You can remove a native from somewhere and the foundation is still going to stand. Removing the foundational people, that collapses the whole structure. That's what foundational Black Americans are to America. America does not exist without foundational Black Americans. We are the flavor. We are everything. Man, listen, I'm in Montana right now. I was in Wyoming yesterday because I'm going to these national parks. Ain't no Black people out in these places. I mean, like, we're like I ain't no Black people out here. Now, these places, naturally are beautiful and all that. Wyoming, I've been in 3 different states. I've been in Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. The whitest places ever. Very nice people. They've been so nice, so kind, wonderful people. Very, very nice. Outside of the national parks, ain't really no flavor. I'm not saying that to denigrate them. I'm saying these people are nice people. They've been treating us very nice. Ain't no flavor though. You understand? It's just nothing happening. There's no flavor. You know what I'm saying? Other than coming to see the national park, which is already here, wh- who wants to come here? I'm not being disrespectful whatsoever. I think the people are very, very nice, but the flavor is just not no flavor. People come to see the national parks, and hell, and if we want to get technical, these national parks were in part established by the damn Buffalo Soldiers. They were the ones out here getting the national parks popping and clearing the brush and getting things ready for tourists to come on out. It was FBA's who had a fingerprint in that. And I'm not saying that to denigrate the people, because again, these people have been very, very nice to us so far. And when I got to Montana, it got a little, the people seeing they were giving some stares. Some of the people kind of did have that alt-right look, and some of the houses, in like Wyoming, everything is real cool and beautiful and all that, but getting over to Montana, and yeah, some of the houses kind of look like that. Y'all know the house in the Silence of the Lamb where the dude had the women in the basement. The houses look like that. It's it's a different little vibe, but again, the people are cool. But listen, the sister was very, very on point talking about how powerful foundation is. The term foundational. You understand? See, native, that's kind of vague. It can be misappropriated. Foundational, that blocks cultural theft and erasure. You understand? Because see, an immigrant can, after a few generations, they can claim to be native. Hey, I was native born to the U.S. They can say that they're native after a few generations. My great grandmother was an immigrant, but I'm native to America. They can say that. They can use little words like that to hijack narratives, but you can't. There's only one group who can say foundational. That's why everybody gets so up about the term family. Notice people get mad. That foundational word whoops their ass because that's the one word they can't co-opt. You can't remix it, you can't co-opt it, none of that. Either your family or your lineage was here from the very beginning or it was not. It's that simple. So you can't co-opt that one right there. That blocks that theft and erasure. That's a gatekeeping term that prevents impersonations, all of that. And like the sister who called earlier, the problem is she was talking about how Jamaican can come over and do this, and Nigerian and all these people can come over and claim African American and all that. It goes deeper than that. It's so bad now. East Indians are now claiming African American, just like old boy Zorhan, whatever his name, the guy running for mayor in New York. We just did a broadcast about that yesterday. Him, Kamala, y'all girl Kamala Harris, she's running around. She was talking about a damn African American, and all these people can do it. East Indians can sit up here and play that game now, calling themselves African American. Man, we have to draw the line in the sand, and we have. We have done that. You see, when you use the term foundational, man, we get into a spirit realm too. See, that recognizes the spiritual and cultural rooting. See, foundational Black Americans, we're not just physically tied to the land, we are spiritually and culturally rooted in the soil of American struggle, resistance, and triumph. You understand? The hoodoo that we would practice, our Majara spirit, our gospel, our blues, our jazz, our civil rights, that grew from the foundation here on this American land. See, native, that fails to capture that deep cultural entrenchment. And foundational, that's a power word. That invokes strength, origin, structure, permanence. Native sounds passive. Foundational is an active, assertive term. That's a power term. That's like, plop, I'm laying this shit down and I can't be moved. You understand? That's power. That implies ownership. Do y'all feel me? People sit up here and play that lost African shit. That's an insult. Don't ever let nobody sit up and tell you some damn lost African. Get the fuck out of here. We ain't lost. We've been here longer than them African countries have been around. Yeah, we set up and let these people run that game for years. We've been here way longer than their countries have been formed. We're way more rooted with a foundational structure. Come on now, we gotta let folks know what the business is. Language shapes perception, ladies and gentlemen. Foundational, that asserts dominance, centrality, not just inclusion. That's like, look, we are the ones. We are the alpha and the damn omega. Foundational is future proof. See, as the country becomes more diverse with immigration and whatever, see, native, that word, that'll become more ambiguous than irrelevant. See, foundational, that's a clear and constant thing. Nobody can age into it, nobody can migrate into it. It's not a category that anybody can just step into. It's an ancestral term. Either you are or you not. You are solidifying your position. You understand? Foundational, that resurrects a forgotten truth. See, truth reframes the narrative. And the true stock of American greatness comes from the enslaved foundational Black Americans and their descendants. You understand? That's the reality. Point blank. I saw a video of a sister talking about going in on some of the immigrants who are claiming that yeah, if they leave, oh, what's going to happen to all these jobs? Oh, oh, America's going to fall apart if they get rid of all of us immigrants and send us back to Latin America. And this sister went in. She was like, "Yo, look, oh, yo, ain't nobody going to look. We as foundational Black Americans, we built the infrastructure of this country. Y'all be," she said, "y'all immigrants come over here and build IKEA ass houses that fall down after a couple of years. Y'all not going to be missed like that. We always we done built structures that are still standing from centuries ago, which is true. Listen, when we not only are we foundational, the things we do are foundational. When we put things down, it stays. We put the shit down, it's gonna stay down. When we create a music genre, that shit stays. It's locked in. When we create a food, that's locked in. Dude, our families, when you talk about work ethic and all of that, some of you, and I always bring this up, some of us with families in the South who are still in the South, if you're foundational Black Americans, somebody, one of y'all got a great grandfather or grandfather, somebody who built a house somewhere in the South that's still standing. Raise your hand. If your grandparents or great grandparents or great great grandparents, y'all still got a house in the South that's still there that your granddad built. All of us got a house that our grandparents built or great grandparents. If you're a foundational Black American, y'all know what it is. Raise your hand. You go to Big Mama's house that granddad built. You understand? House still standing. You're with the foundation, spiritual, physically, and historically. You understand? And we are giving props and paying homage to the ancestors. It's very important. It's very important to do that, ladies and gentlemen. It's so important to acknowledge, just from a spiritual realm, our foundational Black American ancestors. I've been talking about this. Now, y'all know I grew up down in Birmingham, Alabama. I'm an LA cat, but I grew up in, as a child in Birmingham, Alabama. In Alabama, there was a city, well, not, I won't say city, it was a town that was similar to Oscarville in Georgia, where the town got flooded. It was a Black town that got flooded in Alabama too, just like Oscarville. This town was called Benson. It was Benson, Alabama. Benson, Alabama, beautiful place. They had a school down there. The school, I think it was called, the town was also known as Kawaliga. That's like a Muskogee word because a lot of us were clicked in with some of these dark natives. So but the town was founded by a brother in 1890 named John Jackson Benson. He was formerly enslaved foundational Black American who actually purchased his former enslaver's plantation along a creek area over there. So he stacked his money up and he transformed like 160 acres to just like 3,000 acres after a while. So it just a big economic growth. It became a big black farming community. They, exported cotton, sugarcane, lumber, because look, we had all these skills. We came out of slavery. We had the skills. Don't let people say we were just some mindless laborers. See, this is why y'all need to know history, family. We weren't just mindless laborers. We knew the agrarian culture. We knew how to do architecture. We knew how to run businesses and things like that. It was just suppressed. That's why we're coming out of slavery, building these damn towns all over the place. You're not some mindless drone being able to do that coming out of the damn trenches with nothing. I'm talking about we coming out of slavery, building whole towns, man, all over this country. We weren't just farm equipment doing that. And this place down here in Alabama, Benson, Alabama, they had a school down there that was a prosperous school. I think it was called the Cowaliga Academic and Industrial Institute, a top grade institution that was teaching black students industrial skills, domestic skills. I think Booker T. Washington was on the board of directors there. Um, it was just real popping place. And then they had one of the first owned black railroads down there. They had the Dixie Industrial Company, and they were doing phenomenal business. They had a railroad. They were doing international business. I think they were exporting products to Germans. So when they start doing that, the white folks are gonna be like, "Oh, wait a minute now." That same thing in Tulsa. See, Tulsa started doing international business. When we start reaching out doing international business, then they gotta, white supremacists gotta step on in. They're like, okay, these Negroes are just doing a little bit too well. So they start running some finesse games, messing with the railroads, messing with the land rights. They start doing the permit game, the permit hustle. So they basically started crashing out the town, sabotaging it economically. And then Alabama Power got access to the place and got everybody out. And then they started damming up a river and then put a lake on top of the town. Same thing they did with Oscarville. They just did a man-made lake over there. They put a lake out there. It's Lake Martin right now. So those beautiful foundational Black American ancestors, their bones and blood and sweat is still under that water. Now, y'all know what happened out there at Lake Lanier this 4th of July weekend. A boat exploded on Lake Lanier. Now, we know about that. Same day, folks don't know about this, out there in where Benson, Alabama was, at Lake Martin, the same shit happened to another boat. Did y'all know that? They were doing fireworks and then the boat blew up and all these white people had to go to the hospital. Same thing, same day. On a lake with a black town under it. Do you know the level of coincidence for that to happen on the same day? Two different places. You think that's a coincidence, family? When I say these ancestors ain't bullshitting, these ancestors are not playing out here at all. These ancestors are not playing right now. These ancestors, these foundational Black American ancestors, keep sending these messages, and I'm noticing it's being done with fire. Now, that's spiritually significant, family. These explosions on water and these plantations, again, these plantations, like not too long ago, a few months ago, a plantation in Louisiana just randomly caught on fire. Same thing happened in South Carolina. A plantation just caught on fire. I think the one in South Carolina caught on fire a couple of times, just randomly caught on fire. See, that's the spirit realm talking, family. You better believe the spirit realm is talking. Ain't that right, Sister Empress? Sister, I'm gonna get you up here in a second, Sister Empress, because I want you to touch on this spirit thing. Our sister's good talking about the spiritual energy. But listen, I want y'all to understand fire That's a purifier in the spirit realm. Fire is a symbol of purification across spiritual traditions. And in the case of our FBA ancestors, fires hidden boats on lakes and hidden random plantations and all that. Those are symbolic purges. That's burning away the historic lies. That's the spiritual cleansing. The ancestral spirits are reclaiming sacred ground. Much of the lands where the plantation stood and these black towns were flooded, like Lake Lanier, Lake Martin. These are spiritually defiled grounds. These white supremacists defile these ancestors. So fire becomes a way for the ancestors to reclaim it. You demand acknowledgement. You see, water submerges the truth. Fire brings it to the surface. Fire is real. Water was used to erase these thriving communities. Fire is the opposing force. The opposite of water is fire. The opposite of good is bad. You understand? It's that spiritual duality. And you're uncovering and you're forcing public attention on what lies beneath. It's not just destruction. This is a revelation. And fire, that's the weapon of the oppressed. Yeah. Enslaved people, they were burned, branded, tortured by fire. Remember, y'all look at them lynching pictures. They would be burning us up and all that old shit. Now that same energy is being turned around. That spirit realm is redirecting that once oppressive element into an agent of ancestral vengeance. That's justice in reverse. Justice being served. Justice going to be served. These random unnatural fires, that's a message from the unseen world. That shit ain't no coincidence. I'm sorry. I don't believe in no coincidences. Not like that. Yeah. That reflects spiritual unrest. See, fire is a universal language that demands attention. You see, unlike other forces, you can ignore other forces. You can ignore wind. Yeah, you can even ignore an earthquake. You can sleep through an earthquake. I have. Yeah, I live in LA. I sleep through earthquakes all the time. I wake up and it's like it was an earthquake. Oh, I didn't feel it. Yeah, you can other forces you can ignore. You can ignore rain. It can rain and you can just put your headphones on and ignore the rain. You can ignore that. You can't ignore fire. Fire cannot be ignored. That's the one thing, that one force that cannot be ignored at all. Is bright, loud, destructive, and public. So ancestors are not whispering. They're telling you, we're speaking through this flame, through this fire, forcing you to reckon with the sins, man. So this thing is real. Let me get our good brother, Professor Alan, in the building. Professor Alan in the building. Let me get our good brother in here. Professor Alan, what's up, sir?
Hey, what's up, brother? I'm gonna be real quick. As you were talking so prophetically, I thought about you saying ancestors. You were talking about fire on water, and I thought about our brother James Baldwin in The Fire Next Time. He said that first, he said that first God destroyed Earth with water, and he said if the Black Americans are not, I'm paraphrasing them, but if we're not given some type of retribution, I mean, like some type of reparation, or they don't apologize for the slave trade. He said that next time the earth will be destroyed with fire. The fire next time. That stuck in my head, bro. That's all I. Yes, sir.
Thank you so much. Real talk. The fire next time. Boy, that's powerful. They've been predicting this thing. A lot of our scholars, warriors, they've been predicting this thing. It's going to be fire next. Even the music group said earth, wind, then and fire. Fire's next. Cyber Regina, hop on, dear.
Good morning, Tariq. And I'm Professor Allen. Don't go away because I want you to back me up on something. I want to talk about this Mandani, guys. You know, I'm a native New Yorker, third generation New Yorker, and my parents, as I told you before, my grandparents came from Maryland and Virginia. So we've been quite some time. This thing with Mandani is very, very serious. You know, it started with Barack Obama. You know, his blackness comes from Kenya.
Yes.
Then you have Kamala Harris, she Jamaica and India, all of these countries, and he's from Uganda,
Mm,
born in Uganda. And then I have to go and look at the years, but I'm thinking his family got thrown out of Uganda and they went to South Africa,
yeah.
come to New York. Now, there's so many discrepancies in what he's saying about his background, in particular, that whole thing with Columbia. His father teaches at Columbia, and I want Professor Allen to back me up on this. When your parents work at a university, you get to go to the children of those professors go to the universities for free. So the fact that he applied to Columbia and they rejected him tells you that when he put black on his application, the dummy, um, when you have, like, you're looking at minority applications, they basically have black Americans in the room. So I'm sure they knew his father and saying, this guy's not black. And that's probably why he got rejected.
Mm,
So now he comes back, you know, he's 33 years old, came out of nowhere. He's out in Astoria, which is the same district as Ocasio-Cortez. He's a socialist, he's a communist, and he is just trying to play this thing up. You know, now he says he just became a citizen 10 years ago. But then he says, I'm an American born in Uganda.
right.
No.
Right.
Indian. You're an
Right.
Indian born in Uganda, Punjabi Indian.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's a manufactured plant. They keep pushing, whoever's behind this keeps pushing it. It started with Barack Obama, then here we come with Kamala Harris. And it's a real insult to even push this guy, and he has to be stopped. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, dear. But yeah, I think it's deliberate too. I think this con job of pushing these non-FBA tethers, pushing them on us as African American, knowing that they're not of our lineage, knowing that they're not going to have any type of lineage loyalty to us, but to push them as African American, that's a deliberate con job that they're trying to run on us so that we can support them. And then when they undermine us, they can say, "Well, you voted for him. Hey, he's African American. You rose him up, and we're just not going for it. We're rejecting all that stuff." C. Lou, what's up, C. Lou?
Hey Tariq, how you doing?
I'm
Uh,
good.
oh, I'm sorry. You doing all right tonight?
Yes, I am. Go ahead.
Hey, I was wanting to tease you about trying that jollof rice.
Uh,
I'm surprised to see you didn't wake up the next day with your tongue stuck to your chest. Because every time I've tried it overseas, it always smelled like feet.
oh, God. Yeah, the one I had in New York wasn't too bad. It was just hella spicy. But I've had some in other places. I really wasn't feeling it. But the one I just recently had in New York, it was cool. So I wasn't tripping on it too hard. But I don't know. I've tried it about 3 or 4 other times, and the other times were just horrible. I'm like, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. And no disrespect to the people who like Jollof. No disrespect to that.